Peace and greetings, peace and greetings. Um, it's time to talk about Rwanda. And I know that you have been waiting to get all the juice and all the good details. So I am going to outline for you some things that you need to know and just be aware of as you are getting ready to enter into Cosmic Earth Mother. So welcome. And that is exactly the name of the retreat, Enter into Cosmic Earth Mother. And this retreat is a 10-day experience in Rwanda at Lake Kivu. This is actually a picture of Lake Kivu. And so, you are in for a treat. You are in for an amazing treat. So let's go ahead and jump in. So before we get any further, let's talk about who I am. I am your host. I'm Goddess Queen Jamila Auset, or Jaast. And I am the curator of this particular Rwanda experience for 2022. Now, some things that you should know if you don't already know about me is that I have been a nomad, and I chose Africa as my destination to nomad through. And I did that for 2 years. So every 6 weeks to 3 months, I was traveling to different countries on the continent, only on the continent, just for 2 straight years. And that experience really opened my eyes to the abundance that Africa offers. Many of us have grown up with impressions and thoughts and false beliefs really about Africa because we have only been fed through the prism of our colonizers. We have only been fed through the prism of people who never wanted us to explore the land or never wanted us to understand the richness and the abundance and the fullness of this particular continent. So for me, being on the motherland has been a life-changing experience. It has increased my vibration. It has expanded my existence. It has deepened my essence and allowed me to grow in ways that felt very nurturing. So that brings me to the next point, which is that I am a master host and life coach. And what I end up doing is assisting people when it comes to nurturing their spirit. What I do, I probably need to come up with a name tag that says I hold space, like I am the holder of space, okay? And that is something that I do adeptly by being. I do that by being. I do that by staying true to who I am, by living in my authentic light, by being genuine according to how I feel, according to what resonates with me, going with my own natural flow. That is what I do, and that opens the door for other people around to do the same. So that is the place that I function in, and from that place, I usually provide 3 services. The first service is my coursework. The second service is my membership. And the third service, obviously, is this retreat. So congratulations, because you're here. And the course is a prerequisite often to coming on this particular retreat experience. So I'm also a shamaness and a guide for sacred healing. And what that means, or the significance of that, is very often we carry around old traumas, old energy, and generational anchors. And so what I do in my capacity is I function as a guide for sacred healing in a way that allows you to purge things that are unbeknownst to you that you may have been carrying around since the beginning of life, or maybe even in past lives, or maybe carrying around from other people who are in your life that are just attached. So I provide ceremonial experiences that allow you to release all of the excess energy that you're not seeing visually, but that's present spiritually. And so that is a big function of what takes place during these retreats, because the retreats serve as a container for you to come in. It's almost like its own portal, right? You step into the portal one way, there's some work being done. And then after that, you step out of the portal and you're a whole new person. So that is a big portion of the sacred healing and what sacred healing provides through ceremonies. And why I chose Rwanda. So at the time that I visited Rwanda, it was last year in the fall. And I had been to, I want to say maybe 9, maybe 8 other countries by that time. And what I was really looking for is an opportunity to get introspective, to really ground, to really get into nature, and to really get an understanding of what else I was being called to do. And, you know, that could have happened in many different places in Rwanda simply because of the land. But I chose Rwanda specifically because of the land. There's something about finding yourself in the nature of Earth that really helps to clear everything up that is irrelevant, that doesn't belong, that doesn't have a place, that might be seen as a distraction. So coming to Rwanda and having the opportunity to ground fully, to be fully present with nature, to revel in and enjoy the abundance of the land, that was really what made me say, even while I was there, oh, this is where I'm doing my next retreat, because it's so potent. You get to see things differently. You get to experience breathing differently, because everything is just tied into the elements. It's in flow. It's in direct correlation with nature, and you can't avoid it. You're not plugged into something, distracted by something else, overrun with technology. Oh, nope, none of that. It is literally a container. So that is why I chose Rwanda for you for this year. All right. So what is the objective of this particular retreat? Threefold: cleanse, renew, and up level. Okay. So this particular experience is different from the last retreat that I held in Tanzania, because the one in Tanzania was really about just calibrating to the elements of air, fire, water, and earth. Like really just let's get calibrated. Let's just tune into it, right? And so now that we have been tuned in, for some of you who are returning, right, for your second African abundant goddess experience, this one is really about cleansing, because we know that it's not about the up level in and of itself. Once you up level, there's a level of maintenance that's required to sustain yourself at that new level. So cleansing is a big part of this experience. We will be cleansing the body from inside out. And what I mean with that is that we will be using a series of fresh herbs to cleanse the physical body. And we will also be cleansing the body internally, because for these 10 days that you will be in this experience, you will only be eating plant-based, farm to table, okay? And that is a celebration in and of itself, because we will be gardening and you will be pulling from the garden the things that you will turn around and prepare. So that just changing that dynamic with food in the body is enough to blast us off to the cosmos. Just changing that dynamic is enough to prompt mental changes, to prompt intestinal changes, to recalibrate our organs. So we would go through that cleansing experience externally and internally. Renewal. So after we are clean and clear, then we want to renew all of those things that have been put in storage, put in the closet, put on the queue for later. Anything that is a priority at this point in your life, we want to renew. We want to renew our motivation to it, renew our inspiration to it, renew our zeal for it. We are going to renew mind, body, and spirit. That is the next step. So that will be renewal. Then there is the up level. So a big part of why we are really tuning into the nature of Mother Earth is so that we can up level and start to create at the level of Mother Earth. We want to create at the level of cosmic Earth Mother. We all know that this mother that we live in, Earth, She nurtures us. She takes care of us. She provides all things for us. And she is a master creator. If we ever have questions about creation, we can look to Mother Earth because she is happy to answer all questions on our behalf. So we are going to learn how to generate our creation abilities at an entirely new multi-dimensional level. Multi-dimensional. I want you to remember that word because it will come up several times during the retreat. Okay. And then as you can see, Rwanda it's landlocked. Okay, so it's surrounded by Burundi, Tanzania, Uganda, and the Congo. So we are actually going to be very close to the border of the Congo, which will allow for some opportunities, you know, to visit that side and identify some things that are culturally Congolese. So we're going to be in a prime location in Rwanda, but Rwanda in and of itself is a landlocked piece of landmass that does not touch any ocean. So in order for us to be in alignment with the elements of water, we will be at the lake. So we will be at Lake Kivu in Rwanda. Okay. So Rwanda is known as the land of 1,000 hills. When you arrive and when we start to take that journey and go from the city, which is Kigali, and travel up to where we will be based, which is by Lake Kivu, it can be overwhelming. You'll be allowed to view, you'll be given opportunity to see, you'll be exposed to all of the hills of Rwanda. Rwanda is a very lush land. I am of the belief system that the only thing that's probably more lush than Rwanda is the Congo, and the Congo is known for its jungles. So you will be traveling in this land of 1,000 hills, the altitudes, the variety, the farmland, everything is there, which is the reason why I chose Rwanda to be my base for my tea farm, because everything is growing, and even the concept of the growth, everything is fertilized, everything is nurtured, everything is growing, everything is in that space of production and of more and of abundance. So that is something that you should know about this particular land, that it's near and dear to my heart because it is the land of 1,000 hills, but also because of the greenery and the food. Everything in Rwanda is extremely fresh. They probably do import some things, but for the most part, all of the produce, all of the food, organic, fresh, natural, tasty, it's at its original state. And even if they were to use a genetically modified seed, which I have seen in some places, it's so interesting how even with using a genetically modified seed, using it in the land in Rwanda still is producing a fruit or a vegetable that is far exceeding what we've had in the West, far exceeds the quality of what we've had in the West. And that is because the land is so rich and so fertile. So that is something that that you should know. What you should also know is that when it comes to plant medicine, we will be utilizing plant medicine for 3 days. That is right, 3 days. So we will be consuming our food that is plant-based and from the land, and then we will be going into ceremony and utilizing plant medicine. So for the purposes of this retreat, we do advise that you do not continue to use Western medicine, that you are detoxing from that. And I will provide a guideline for you if you have any prescription-based medicine that you are currently taking. I will provide a guideline for you so you can transition from that safely and enter into ceremony safely. Okay. So that is that for what you should know. Now, some more quick facts about Rwanda. The key languages spoken in Rwanda are Kenya, Rwanda, French, and English. Okay, so if you don't know Kenya, Rwanda, which you probably don't, if you don't know French, which you probably don't, you'll be good because they actually do speak English. Now, English is spoken more in the suburban areas than the local areas. The locals do not speak English by and large. One moment.
You're still on mute.
Thank you. All right, so those are the 3 languages spoken in Rwanda: Kenya, Rwanda, French, and English. The currency that is actually used in Rwanda is the franc, but it is the Rwandese franc, okay? So there's the franc that obviously comes from France, but there's a Rwandese franc that is used in Rwanda that has a high level of currency value. So you may be paying for something simple like a meal, and that meal may cost you 10,000 Rwandese francs, but that may only be about $8 or $9. Okay, so there's a very high level of currency, value for the Rwandese franc, but low in comparison to the value internationally. And then I will provide instructions on getting currency so you can have cash with you once you arrive on this retreat. So the main tribes of Rwanda are the Tutsi, the Hutu, and the Twa tribe. And the thing about these different tribes is that you cannot tell the difference. Everyone speaks the same language. Everyone, carries the same features. So as an outsider, as a visitor, you will not be able to tell the difference between one tribe and the other. But they are known, Rwanda is actually known for its genocide in 94. And that genocide was between the Tutsi and the Hutu people. And with that particular genocide, there was a lot of animosity between these 2 tribes that had been conjured up by the French, and then the French left, and then these people were left to their own devices to fight. Because of that genocide, and because of the international aid and the international attention that it received, Rwanda started to get an abundance of money poured in and an abundance of support being poured in. And once they got that support and that money, then the president of Rwanda turned around and started to use those resources to, in essence, build a better Rwanda. So we've oftentimes heard about corruption in Africa and corruption and how the leaders are so corrupt. This Rwandese president, and I wish I had the picture so I can show you, but I'll show you in our next presentation. This is just the first of 2 or 3 presentations. But I will show you in the other presentation. This Rwandese president, he went the full extent, and he really revamped the entire country. He really had a vision for Rwanda to be much better than it had ever been. And his vision included making Rwanda a technology hub. So for Africa, Rwanda is building, and it has been built up in terms of technology and even safety. Rwanda is one of the safest countries in Africa. The policing system is on point. It doesn't have that reputation that other African countries do of bribery or anything like that. It is safe. It is 100%. And being there, you definitely know that, okay, they are making sure that all the ducks are in a row, all the T's are crossed, everything is in alignment. So it's a very beautiful place to be, and you can, be assured that you will be safe. So that is something that we just have to address, because the genocide did happen, and it did, put a stain on Rwanda. But having visited there, I got to see for myself how much the country has grown and developed and evolved since that particular genocide. All right, so why now? Why this retreat now? Why didn't I do the Enter into Cosmic Mother Earth last year or the year before? This is my quote. As the original mothers of the earth, it is time for us to get back to earth, to becoming one with the earth mother. There are so many of us who are completely disconnected from earth. We are in a place right now where we are learning about our bodies, where we're learning about our health, where we're approaching our health from a holistic lifestyle, where we are living through an African natural lifestyle. There's so much that's being revealed to us, But one of the things that we have not yet mastered is understanding when is the right time to create. When is the right time to bring forth our abundance? When is the right time to utilize our magic? When is the right time? And that has everything to do with seasons. That has everything to do with seasons. And we have not yet aligned the seasons of who we are with the seasons of our magic. Those things are not in direct alignment. You know, even understanding moon cycles, there's understanding of nature, in understanding a seed and planting a seed and having that grow. There's so much that we have been blinded from in the West, from simple things like when is a fruit in season? We don't know when certain fruits are in season because we've had access to things when we shouldn't, to understanding the concepts of patience through nature. There's so much that nature is willing to teach us. And so why now? Because it's time for us to reunite with Earth Mother. It's time for us to see ourselves through that prism and to be in that full element where we are, I am the earth. I am the earth. So my womb, if you put it up on a projector screen, it looks like the sky, a night sky. It has dots, and all those dots are my ovaries. Like that is literally how things look here. So let me go inside of here and explore the cosmos from within. And let me learn how to do that through Earth Mother. So that is why now. So these are pictures of the actual site where we will be at. We will be at Lake Kivu, and this is actually our retreat center. It is beautiful, surrounded by greenery of all shades, by flowers, by birds. There's actually a family of eagles or hawks, some huge bird that live right in front of the lake on the property. So it's amazing. So this is a picture of the property, and what you'll notice is that all of these, there are balconies. So all of these sitting areas that you see are at every single cottage. Every single loft has a sitting area. So you'll be able to sit outside, do your journaling, sit outside, do your meditation, like really fully be in that element all day. Okay. Really fully mingle and interact with your sisters all day. Sit outside and have your cup of tea in the morning. Sit outside and watch the sunrise in the morning. Like really fully enjoy at 150% everything that nature is serving. Okay, so this is another picture of our site. Again, this is the sitting area. Every single cottage has that sitting area, and these cottages are amazing. One of the things that is very characteristic of my retreats is that I'm about that luxury life. Okay, so you know, the day may come where I may do a non-luxurious retreat, but for right now, it is all about luxury in Africa. And so everything that I curate has had lots of elements that represent comfort, that represent familiarity. You won't be restricted from using the internet. We're not going to go 15 days without you having to call your family. We're not doing that. Okay. So we are going to be just soaking in all of the things. They have a beautiful dining area. They light fires for us. It's just, it's an amazing piece of land, and it's fully charged. There's so much energy that's already sitting at this particular piece of land because it's serene. So you are going to be immersed in that serenity. You're going to be immersed in paradise, essentially. Okay. So are there any questions so far?
So yes. Well, one, I want to just say thank you for this. This definitely helps me visualize all of this and, get excited about it even more. I think in terms of looking up, like getting our flight information together, what airport should we be looking at? And should we be looking at like flying from the day before so that we land the day of? How should we be looking at that?
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that question. So when it comes to the flights, what I am going to do is I'm going to send you a flight guideline, okay, for traveling from the States to Africa. And that flight guideline is going to have the initials of the airport, the guidelines in terms of what kind of flights to look at, and in terms of duration as well. The sites I would recommend for you to look at first, and then the duration of the flight. Because we are still operating in some COVID related times, there are places that in your transition will require, you know, different rules or different things for COVID testing. So that will be included as well. You'll have a link that'll show you, if you're passing through here, if you're passing through Addis Ababa, this is what you're gonna have to do. If you're passing through Europe, this is what you're gonna have to do. So I'm gonna provide you with a flight guideline so you can have all of the information in terms of what to do, when to do it, and have the initials and just every detail that you need.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I imagine that in your guidelines, there might be some people who have been on the retreat before, but for those of us who have not been, will you be including some necessary items for us to pack and bring with us?
Absolutely. So it's like a little worksheet booklet thing. It'll have that. It'll have the flight guidelines. It will have the breakdown of the plant medicine that you'll be doing for ceremony, so you have a good understanding, and also that medical information that I spoke about earlier. And it'll have the things to pack, because with this particular retreat, it's so different from Zanzibar or Nairobi, in that we will be in with the ground. We will be working with the garden. We will have our hands in the dirt. So you'll be having to bring stuff like potentially overalls, right?
Right.
What is it called? The gardening gloves.
Right.
You know, dirty pants or sweatpants or things like that to keep your legs from, you know, your knees from hitting the ground. You know, pairs of sneakers, or you know, a pair of sneakers that you don't mind being out in the ground with. So it'll have essentials in terms of what you'll need for that, as well as any other additives like bug spray if that's necessary, oils that you may need for ceremony. So it'll have the things that you need in terms of wearing. Are there other things that you're asking about, or you're curious about bringing that I may need to include?
I think, you know, with any ceremony, there is a certain attire that you're supposed to wear. So I think that's what I'm thinking of in the back of my mind, but I'll wait until you share that.
Yes.
So that if I have follow-up questions from there, then I can ask from there.
Perfect. Yeah. I think there's about maybe 4 or 5 sheets in the little workbook, but it even has some intentioning, you know, what you are hoping to get beforehand, and really writing that out and identifying that. So you're coming into Rwanda very clear about what you will get. And once that adds up, then now we step into a place of overflow. Now, what would be the extra step beyond what you would be hoping to get?
All right.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
No? You are complete?
At this point in time, yes.
All right, good, thanks. So I am so excited to just welcome all of you to this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country, Rwanda. I just want to close out and say that it is such an honor. It's such a privilege. It is such a high level flex for me to be doing this work in this way. I put up a post that I shared from 2019. In 2019, I was in Brazil. And when I was in Brazil, I sat around in that bed and breakfast in Brazil, and I said, my goddess, how can I do this? Like, how can I plan an international retreat? Because one of the things about me that I'm always very adamant about is exposing people and up-leveling people to the things that have up-leveled me. And so I sat there and I said, I got to start planning my first international retreat. I got to figure this out. And I remember, taking a picture because I was working for the first time abroad, and I posted that picture. And so I have the timestamp that says 2019, where I asked the people, you know, would you be interested in an international retreat? And my caption literally read, I am thinking about planning an international retreat. Not I am planning, but I am thinking about planning my first international retreat. And now here I am. This will be my second international retreat. So I give thanks and I give praise for my progression. I give thanks and I give praise for your trust, because I do not take it lightly. And it is such an honor to welcome you to Africa, to be the vehicle for which you get to experience the abundance of the motherland. So I give thanks and praise. And with that being said, if there are any additional questions, you can email me at jamilah@jamilahanderson.com. I'm so happy to welcome you to this experience, and I will see you very soon. Blessings.
Peace and greetings. Thanks.
All right, so we are here. Just
Yes.
you and I.
Yes. You still recording, darling?
Oh, I'm still recording. All right.
Yes.
Let me stop recording.